Hi friends, and welcome back to my besties. If you would like to join the bestie cult, please consider subscribing. I very much appreciate it, and we would all love to have you here. Today's video is about art style. I personally have been struggling to find my art style for the past couple years, honestly. I thought I enjoyed realism or semi-realism, but have found that for me personally, trying to achieve a semi-realistic look with my artwork has led to a lack of expressiveness, or like a lot of my artwork has looked really stiff in my opinion. And I feel like it limits me in terms of how expressive I can be with my artwork. This is just my opinions, okay? I am not an expert. I'm just a person who likes to draw. I'm just a drawer. So I'm just going to be speaking from my experience, what I'm doing to find my art style. And hopefully anything I talk about, my strategy that I share in this video, hopefully you find it helpful. If you do at any point, please give the video a like and comment your experience with art style. Anything related to this video, I read all the comments and try to reply to all of them, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. With me making all these criticisms about my artwork, what am I doing to improve it? Copying. I know, what? Oh, that's so bad. I'm going to find a bunch of artworks that I like, save them to a folder on my Instagram or like any other social media platforms, which you could do this as well. Making a collection of all these artworks that I like, and I'm going to do a bunch of studies. The goal that I have with this is in doing all of these studies of all of these different artworks from different artists that I like. In each study that I do, I'm going to identify about that artwork what I enjoyed and what I did not like in the creation process of said artwork. And then I'm hoping that I will have a collection of all of these different likes and dislikes about my creative process that will mesh together and make one art style. The one that I've started with recently is an artwork by Hello, This Is Angle. It's an Astarian portrait. Of course. I really like the line art in that one. That's one thing that I don't usually include in my own art style currently, but I feel like having line art in an artwork allows you to add a lot of expressiveness and movement and texture, and it just adds a lot to the artwork, which in my opinion, which is something I want in my art style. And I feel that my artworks that I've been creating recently lack texture. Like I only use one or two brushes, and I do not like that whatsoever. So I explored Ibis Paint to see what sorts of brushes they have that I can utilize. And yeah, I found a couple. I found some that look like, I feel like in this art piece it looks like they used a really rough pencil for the line art. And the other thing is, one thing I used to struggle with a lot in creating line art is variance in the weight of the line. Like I would always just make everything the same like thickness and weight. But that's something I really like about this art piece is there's like, you can see under the neck and in the shadow of the hair, it's like super thick line. And then the lips and on the eyes as well, and the eyebrows and ear. And then in the hair as well, there's like a variance in the thickness of the lines at different parts to emphasize different parts of the hair. So yeah, I really liked that about this artwork. I haven't started on any others yet, but I guess I'll share some of the other ones I've been looking at. So there's this one by Finn Frey, I believe is how you pronounce their name. I love this artist's art style so much because the way they do their shading is like it adds so much texture and like personality to their drawings, and I just like I'm obsessed with it. I want to capture that in my own artworks. Use of colors, everything is so bright, and it's not like one thing I focus on a lot in my art with doing semi-realism is creating realistic lighting and creating realistic shadows, but the way that they use colors to emphasize certain shadows or highlights is not necessarily realistic, but it adds a lot of personality to their art pieces and adds a lot more emotion and makes you feel more in looking at their artwork. Like, for example, this art piece here, the brightness of the background really helps you feel the warmth like coming from this art piece of these two characters, or who is it. Okay, so I'm assuming these two are in love based on the way they're looking at each other. I have not read The Lotus Empire, but you can feel that like emanating from the drawing just based on the colors that she used. Also, yes, I'm wearing my fucking PJ pants. We're not gonna judge. This art piece by Rosuri, I think is how you pronounce her or his name or their name. The main thing I really liked about this is the lighting, and then mainly is the perspective and the colors that are used. I just love that sort of like out of focus in the foreground of the picture, and then like, because that's another thing I don't really play with within my own artworks is using like a blurred effect on the foreground or background to emphasize other parts of the drawing, which is something I want to include in my art style as well. So yeah, mainly just recognizing my flaws or identifying why it is that I like these artworks, and then practicing, copying the way that these artists capture those features within their own artworks. I think practicing that will help me develop that in my own art style, and hopefully by the end of this, I can bring together some artworks at the very end of all of this, which I'm assuming will take me a couple weeks. But once I've practiced copying other artists and
stealing their artistic practices,
I'm hoping to create my own art piece that I feel proud of, that encompasses most, if not all, of these features that I envy in these artworks. So please give the artists I mentioned in this video some support. They are all super talented, and I very much am super envious of their skill, and I admire them. So I hope that something in this video was helpful. The next video I create, if you would be interested in seeing my journey through trying to develop my art style, let me know in the comments. I will be sure to create a video related to that if you are interested. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for today. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.